Hey everyone, welcome back to day 2 of our Blender learning series. Yesterday, we gave life to a table, and today, we're going to mug up a new skill by literally making a mug for our table. Let's jump in. First, let's open Blender and load the file we saved on day 1 with the table model. Switch to render preview mode, and let's check things out through the camera. Looks like the camera's focus is slightly low. Let's fix that. Click the camera icon in the top right to select it, then press G on your keyboard to move the camera view, and slightly drag it upwards till you're happy with the composition. Next, I feel the floor is looking too small. Let's scale that up for a better view. Go back to solid mode, select the floor plane. Then in the transform panel on the right, change the scale X and Y from 10 to 20. Now, if you switch back to camera view, you'll notice that the floor now fills the frame nicely. Let's bring in the star of today's show, the mug. Press Shift-A, Mesh, Cylinder. On the bottom left, the Add Cylinder panel pops up. Click it. Change vertices from 32 to 22, radius to 0.2 meters, and depth to 0.3 meters. Hit Enter. Now move the cylinder onto the table by pressing the G key to grab and then Z to move it upward along the Z-axis. Click on the magnet icon to enable snapping and switch the snapping type from vertices to faces. This will help the cylinder snap neatly to the table surface, making positioning easier. Once you've placed it roughly where you want, switch to render mode in between to get a better idea of how it's looking. To make sure there's no gap between the cylinder and the table, use the gizmo arrows and click on Z, X, and Y to check from different views and angles. Now to make the cylinder hollow like a real mug, go to Edit mode by pressing the Tab key. From the top left, switch to Face Select mode and then select the top face of the cylinder. Press I to inset and slowly drag your mouse inward to create the thickness of the mug's rim. If you want to be precise, you can also manually enter the thickness value in the pop-up at the bottom left. I adjusted mine slightly for a better proportion. Next, switch to wireframe mode by clicking the sphere icon in the top right corner. This helps you see through the model clearly. Now select that inner face you just created and press E to extrude, dragging it downward to make the mug hollow. Make sure to leave a little thickness at the bottom because, well, leaky mugs are sad mugs. Perfect. Now, let's get a handle on things. Press Shift-A, Mesh, Torus to add a torus shape, which we'll use as the mug handle. In the torus attributes, bottom left corner of the screen, major segments 48, minor segments 12, major radius 0.1 meter. Minor radius 0.015 meter. Hit Enter. Now we've got a nice donut-shaped mesh ready to become a mug handle. Select the torus from the outliner. Press the G key to move it up onto the table. Use the gizmo arrows to position it properly in X, Y, and Z directions so it sits nicely on the side of the mug like a proper handle. If you want to be more precise, you can adjust its position by changing the location, X and Y, and rotation, especially in the X direction, from the Transform panel on the right. I felt the handle was looking a bit too thin, so let's tweak the scale as well. Let's scale it up in the Z direction to 2 units to stretch the handle vertically and give it a better proportion. Also, let's scale it in the X direction to 1.2 units as you place it and align it with the mug. Switch to wireframe mode by clicking on the first sphere icon in the top right corner. Now press G and move it slightly inside so that it looks like the handle is nicely merged with the mug. In my case, I had to adjust the rotation in the X direction to about 142 degrees to get the placement right. After checking from a few angles, I felt the handle was a bit on the larger side. So I reduced the X scale from 1.2 to 1.0 for better proportions. Looks better now. Let's switch to render mode and take a quick look at how it's coming together. Now let's smooth things out, because right now our mug's looking like it had a rough morning. Select the cylinder, which is the mug body. Go to the Modifiers tab, click Add Modifier, choose Bevel, and set the segments to 3. That will soften the sharp edges of the mug's rim. Next, let's hide the handle for a moment so we can work more easily. In the outliner panel on the right side, click the small eye icon next to the torus. This temporarily hides the handle from view. Go into edit mode, press Ctrl-R to activate the loop cut tool. Hover over the mug and scroll your mouse to add 2 or more loop cuts along its height. Select the mug, right-click, and choose Shade Smooth. Do the same with the handle. Select it, right-click, and Shade Smooth. Now rotate around your model to check from every side. Come out of edit mode by pressing the tab key again. Now let's join the mug body and the handle together. First, select the mug, then hold the Shift key and select the handle as well. Once both are selected, press Ctrl-J to join them into one single object. Now head over to the outliner on the right side. Double-click on the name and rename it to Mug. Suddenly, we've got a mug that looks like it's ready for cozy mornings. Now let's apply some material and give this mug a bit of color. Select the mug. Go to the Materials tab and click on New to create a new material. Click on Base Color and pick a nice dark shade of blue. Next, adjust the metallic value to 0.1 to give it a slight shine, and set the roughness to 0.3 for a smooth ceramic look. Zoom in and check the mug closely to see how the surface looks. Switch to camera view and preview it through the lens to get a better sense of the final look. Do some fine-tuning if you feel it's needed. Let's save the progress by going to File and clicking Save. Before wrapping up, don't forget to give the material a name. Double-click on the material name and rename it to Ceramic Mug _color. Finally, if you want to see a rendered version of your work, go to the Render tab at the top left. Click Render Image and save the result by going to Image and Save. All right, that's it for day 2. We built a ceramic mug from scratch, gave it color, and gave it a place at the table. Next time, we're going to give it a proper home. We'll model a saucer to go with it. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Same place, same blender. Happy modeling!